Hey, what's up guys, I'm Exteria, and in this video, we're gonna go through the patch 15.2D meta tier list. This video is gonna be a lot different from my last one, because this one is a more accurate representation of the actual meta itself. Compared to the last one, I was just trying to predict, and predicted completely wrong. So getting into the tier list, we're gonna say S tier is basically, the strength of the board is so powerful, it's a guaranteed top 2 if you play this board correctly. A tier is more like, these comps are technically S tier in strength if you hit everything. B tier is more like, you have to play in certain conditions in order to top 4, and C tier is you have a 20% chance to get top 4, but 80% chance you'll probably lose, so there's probably no point in playing these comps. And I'm gonna show each of these comps with the 4 different openers. For example, here we got is Syndra with Ezreal with the Bastion opener. The other one is Mech opener with +1 unit that you can find. The other opener is Gnar with Juggernaut, and the last opener is Callista with Juggernauts because Neferi and Callista is a very strong opener. Getting right into the comps, the first one we talk about here is Crystal Gambit, and this is how you play the board. Yes, it is pretty expensive, and it does require you to have an emblem. If you don't have emblem, you can't really play Crystal Gambit, but that means you can just pivot into Ashe Juggernauts if needed. The good thing about this comp is you don't need to lose streak anymore, since lose streaking now is a lot less, so this means that you don't get enough points or credits if you do lose streak. There was a game I played where I started with 5 Crystal Gambit on stage 2-3, and I doubled down 3 times and still only got less than a 25 gold cash out, so in the end it's not really worth it. It's better just to win streak or just keep cashing out over and over, since you don't really get any credits at all. And the tip I can give is when you do play 7 Crystal Gambit, you will get a duelist emblem anyways later, so by then you can play a different unit. Like for example, you can play Udyr. I know most of the time you can't play this board at level 8, or it's hard to get to level 9 as well. So the more budget friendly version would be, instead of Braum, you can use Udyr at the time, so you just put emblem on him. And now you still have 2 duelists if you don't have duelist emblem yet, because you will get it later after your 2nd or 3rd cash out of Crystal Gambit, which is based off of how many kills you get. And you can just use Mundo later, and this will be your level 8 board. You can interchange with J4, or you can play with Cassante. Either one's fine. It's just which one you hit level 2 first. And I would position more Crystal Gambits out towards the edge, and non-Crystal Gambit units like towards the center-ish, so they don't die as easy. The items that are important to get is Rage Blade and Kraken on Ashe, and you put +1. Say for example you have Flicker Blades, you basically just win the game, because Flicker Blades is so broken on Ashe. And this board in general should make you hit to level 9, so just 2-star everything here, besides Zyra, because Zyra is hard to 2-star level 8, and you should be able to win out, either with Cassante 2 or J4 2. Sometimes I like to do with Cassante 2 is I put emblem on him, and sometimes I put IE on him. It also carry me, and I also put fruit on him, which is the all-out fruit, so he can just one-shot everything with it. The units you mainly want to fruit is Ashe, and your +1 tank, like either Udyr at the time or Swain if he has really good tank items. For Ashe's fruit, I say the best one is Shadow Clone, because it allows you to have 2 Ashes on the board, so this means that you have another Shadow, that's Ashe, and because you have 7 Crystal Gambit, this Ashe clone also gains this benefit of the 7 Crystal Gambit, so you'll be winning really hard. If you want to see this site, it'll be in the description below. And the opener I would say to play this board would probably be the Syndra Bastion opener, because this allows you to play Crystal Gambit later on down the line. You can add in like Vi and take out Garen for Swain. So you can have Crystal Gambit and just keep cashing out until you can play your Juggernaut board. If you get Emblem for whatever reason, you just put on anyone, it doesn't really matter. And you just keep the Garen in at level 5, and this is fine as well to do. Next one on the list we're going to be talking about here is Jayce reroll. And in order to play this comp, you kind of have to position something like this. Main reason why is because Caitlyn could snipe the corners really easily. So this positioning is just free kills for Caitlyn because it cheeses the enemy front line to have a gap in the center so she could just kill the corner carries. The main thing you want to build items on is Jayce with Bloodthirster and Sterax, and then Caitlyn can have basically just Children +1 item like IE, and whichever one can have Armor Pen, like for example Caitlyn with Blast Whisper, or Leona with Even Shroud or some sort of frontline. Either one. Just choose one or the other. Don't do both. And if you really want first place or guaranteed top 2, if you have the artifact Silver Mirror on Jayce, you basically just win out. This item is actually super broken on him. But if you don't have that, then you can just build Titans or whatever +1 you can find. In order to play this board, you basically hit level 7 and just keep re-rolling from here with like this. So basically these are the best units you can find until your 3-star Jayce and Caitlyn. Then hit level 8, start your Kabuko. If you do hit level 9, +1 unit like Seraphine or something like that would be okay. But most of the time you're not going to be level 9. You're probably just going to be level 8 for most part of the game. The fruits you mainly want to put on is Jayce. And if you get Jayce early, always put Not Done Yet. This fruit is actually very powerful for him. But this requires him to die at least 8 times to get all these stats. And if you start with Jayce on stage 2, over 9,000 would be best. If you can't get either of these, I'll say the next best ones you can get is either Weights or Serious Slam is probably like the best you can take. Other than that, I don't really see any other ones being that great on him. The second fruit you want to put on is Caitlyn, and I say the best one is Shadow Clone. The main reason why is because this allows you to have a second Caitlyn, and now you have two Caitlyn's sniping the backline. Or if you can't get this fruit, then Efficient would be fine because this allows you to keep casting your ulti over and over in a way faster pace. The best opener is probably the Prodigy Bastion opener, or if you start with Jayce, and that's even better. But this is the case of if you don't start with Jayce, then you can just do this opener and throw in +1 Academia until you can find a Jayce. If you do start with Jayce, then you can just do some sort of Academia opener and just put whatever you can on the board. Next up on the list, we got one of the easiest comps to play, and it's Ashe Juggernaut. And to play this board, it's just simply 6 Juggernaut with Ashe +1 Crystal Gambit until you can find Zyra, because Zyra will be your AP item holder. Just put whatever AP items you can on her. And your main tank most of the time is going to be Set, but if you can't get Set too, you can do Mundo too and just fruit him with Unstoppable. Just let him run people down. And Ashe's items is always Rage Blade, Kraken +1. If you don't have these items, she's going to be too weak. And same thing like Crystal Gambit, if you have Flicker Blades for whatever reason, you basically just win out. If not, just some sort of other bull item like second Gwynsu's or second Kraken, or if not, I like to do Gunblade sometimes. It works really well too. And for your level 9 unit, it can be Braum because you get Luchador with Mundo, so you can just position something like this, just have Neferi in the back. Or if you cannot find Braum, then you can use Twisted Fate. But the issue is Twisted Fate has to have some sort of items. So if you have leftover 80 items like IE and hopefully Gwynsu's, then this TF would pop off really hard and just kill everything. And a good upgrade here is Lee Sin. Just turn him into a Juggernaut and he'll just destroy everything as well. Other than that, that's basically about it how to play this board. It's super easy. It's just 2-star everything and just went out. The best fruits I can say for Ashe would be either Desperado or Kahuna Huna. Yes, Shadow Clone is pretty decent for this board, but I'd rather have the Ashe to have more power. Unless you notice that your Ashe is dying in the back, then Shadow Clone might be best to have extra backline. And most of the time, the unit you want to fruit second would be Set. Either put in Resistant or Round 2, I would say is best. Sometimes Selfish is pretty good too. The best opener I would say you can play for this board is Gnar Juggernaut, because this allows you to have maybe potential Gwynsu's Rage Blade on Gnar, and just use the fruit Golden Edge on Gnar, and you just be catching out a lot of gold and hit the board way better and easier since you have a lot to roll with. Next up, we got another comp that I forgot to put on the tier list, and that's going to be Colossal Udyr. This is newer tech that we just found out recently, and the way to play this board is you have to have Udyr with Titans, and some sort of HP item like Sterax is really good on him, and Gargoyle Stoneplate because he's going to be solo frontlining. This board is actually very powerful because 6 Duelist actually gives you durability as well, so this makes Udyr even more tankier than he already is. And if you get the fruit Colossal and Udyr, he gets even more durability, so basically he almost gets 30% durability, and with a lot of extra HP with a little bit more amp. And the second unit you want to fruit is Ashe. Same fruits, basically Kahuna Huna or Desperado, either one's fine. And you have to hit level 8 to play this board because of Colossal. So this means that you're going to be playing 7 units because this Udyr counts as 2 units with that fruit. If you can, 3-starring Udyr would be great, but Udyr's 2 contested in this patch, so I would say most of the time you're stuck with Udyr 2. But if you could 3-star Viego, that'd be great. You just put whatever AP items on him. Like for example, you could put Jewel Gauntlet and with a Strikers, or you can do like Hodge with whatever. As long as he has Jewel Gauntlet, he's fine. Or if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can just throw TG on him and just itemize Ashe instead with Rage Blade Kraken with +1 whatever. And same thing with the Juggernaut Ashe. You can do the same thing with Gnar with Golden Edge, it's fine. Or better yet, you can do the Callista and the Fury opener, because if you first item slam Titans on the Fury, you basically win out, and you already know what direction you're going to be playing at this point. Next up is similar to Ashe Juggernaut, but the level 9 version, which is TF style. In order to play this board, it's the same thing, it's just 6 Juggernaut, whatever tank items you can put on set, and your level 9 unit is going to be Braum. The difference between this board and the last board is your opener is because you're going to be slamming both Shojin and Rage Blade. This means you should be able to win streak pretty well, like at least win 8 rounds all the way up to stage 4, and by then you have maybe somewhere around 80 HP to 90. If you have at least around above 85, I would suggest to probably do this style, where you want to sack stage 4, meaning you lose all stage 4, and then when you hit stage 5, then you hit level 9, and then roll for this board. The power of having both Shojin and Rage Blade on a single unit just allows you to keep casting infinitely, and is actually super strong in the early game. But before the opener that I show you, let's talk about the fruits that you want to put on TF, and that fruit would be Shadow Clone. The reason why is because if you have 2 TF side by side, they kind of stack his ability, so when he does pop his ability, it hits even harder. If not, Ramping Rampage is really good, gives him more attack speed. And they took out Frost Touch. When they do bring it back, you should always take this one every time because it's really broken on him. And for those of you that didn't know, TF is an AD unit. You know his ability is based off AP. It scales of AD really well from the active of the explosion because it gives more for whatever reason on AD than it does AP. Third item could be whatever. It could be like red buff or even Last Whisper is really good on him as a third item because he hits 3 units at once, so this works really well on him. And the opener, I would say the best way to play it would be to play the Callista opener, because if you could build both Shojin and Guinsoo's Rage Blade, you would win streak really hard with this, and you could play up to level 9 board pretty easily. Next up we got is Protagonist, which is basically all the 1-cost hero augment. The first one here is going to be Zac hero augment, and essentially it converts him into a tank to a full AP unit. So you want to build all AP items such as Jewel Gauntlet, Hodge to give him some lifesteal, if not Bloodthirster is fine, and Archangel Staff so he can just one-shot everything. Because he's a heavyweight, you want to play all heavyweights, and most likely Poppy could be your main tank, so you just put tank items on her. For your backline carry, it could be either KO 3 if you do want to reroll for KO, but if you're playing the Protagonist augment, I would say just tempo to fast 9 so you can play maybe Var's carry instead. But if you're just playing the regular Zac hero augment, then you can just reroll for both KO and Zac. And the fruits, you want to put on a Zac like over 9,000. If not, any magic damage one is fine. And if you do play KO, anything to do with attack speed with her would be the best, since you can't have over 9,000 on both of them, I don't think. Only one of them can have it. So I would say Zac would be the best for it. Then the second version is going to be Garen. And Garen, you want to build some sort of lifesteal like Bloodthirster or anything you can find. But you need at least Guinsoo's Rage Blade and Titans, because this allows him to keep gaining mana to cast his ability, and the Titans will make him invulnerable, meaning he can't get CC'd. Then next turn, you want to put your main tank with like Leona, with Even Shroud and Sunfire. Unless you can build Morellicon on Yuumi, that's fine, then you don't have to build Sunfire. As long as you have Even Shroud on Leona is all you need basically. And AP items on Yuumi. The board is just all Academia units, and if you don't throw in a +1 unit, you can throw in Rise if you want to, because it gives you at least something. Executioner with Katarina. It's not the best, but it gives Garen more mana. Or if you want to do something more tankier, then Kubuko is fine. You also get heavyweight with Jayce, and it gives you plus 100 HP on the board. And also gives you durability, because Kubuko makes you take less damage on the board. And if you really want a level 9 unit, you can just throw in Seraphine, I guess, for more Prodigy on Yuumi. That's fine. And the fruit you want on Garen is just same thing, over 9,000. If not, anything to do with lifesteal is fine. And the second unit you want a fruit could be Yuumi, if she's level 2 first. If not, if Leona's level 2 first, then you just fruit her instead with any tank ones. The next one is going to be the Malphite hero augment one. And this one, same thing like Garen. You want to have all of the same items like I said earlier. If not, instead of doing Bloodthirster and Rage Blade, you can do Hodge and Jewel Gauntlet. That's fine as well. But this is the better version, just for him to smack people down and just keep casting his ability. And your secondary carry is going to be Ziggs with Guinsoo's Rage Blade and debuff items such as Voice Staff and Morellicon. If not, red buff is fine. This board is essentially just all crew and 4 protectors. The main one you want to keep is Janna, and the rest of the protectors don't really matter. It's just whatever value ones you can find. And J4 would be best here for a +1 unit technically, because he gives strategist and he CCs the board. The last one here is going to be Kennen, and this one's actually very simple. It's just Kennen with attack speed item and all AP items. Essentially, you just want to throw out all protectors. Whichever one you want to put as main tank doesn't really matter, in all honesty. And over time, you just throw more Supreme Cell units on the board. Basically about it. It's not that hard to play any of these hero augments. Oh, and I forgot, same thing, fruit. Just put over 9,000 on Kennen, or any of the AP ones is fine, or Ramping Rage for attack speed is also good. The next hero augment one is going to be Vi. And Protagonist doesn't work with Vi because she's a 2 cost, and Protagonist only works with 1 cost hero augments. So to play the board is essentially like the gen reroll, but the thing about it is Vi is going to be your main carry. So you want to put IE on her with Hodge. If not, you can do Titans with Bloodthirster is also fine as well. As long as she has Sterak's, she just basically pop outs with this item. And if you're getting contested with Jins, then you can also play with Kai'Sa instead. She's actually a pretty good carry, as long as you have Shojin and some sort of heavy AD items such as IE and then +1. Essentially, to play this board, it's just all Juggernauts and whatever backline carry you can have. For your fruits on Vi, you want over 9,000, or any of the lifesteal ones is fine. And the backline one, for Kai'Sa specifically, Bullet Hell would be best. And then Jin, Artistic KO is the best. If you don't know what to put in as a +1 for level 8 on this board, you can just throw in like TF, or you can throw in Zyra. It doesn't really matter. Anything works. Or if you want Supreme Cell, you can just throw in Darius. It also gives you heavyweight as well. In the A tier list, we're not going to talk about Jin reroll. I feel like most of us know how to play this. Same with Smolder. It's just Smolder and Protector. Crew's really easy to play. I feel like everyone knows Protagonist Yuumi by now. Sork, even though it's hard to play, I feel like most of us know how to play it by now, since it's one of the strongest comps at the beginning of the set. And Soul Fighter, it's pretty straightforward. It's just all Soul Fighter units. So the comp we're going to talk about here is going to be Star Guardian Syndra. And this board is just essentially all Star Guardian with Kubuko. It's very easy to play this comp because all you have to do is just pivot 80 items for Jinx. And the main items you want on Syndra, because she's going to be your main carry, is Shojin, Nashor's Tooth, +1, like Jewel Gauntlet, or you can do Adaptive Helm. This works as well. And the reason why this comp is very good is because the fruit you can get on Syndra, and that would be with Rising Chaos. if you get this fruit, you basically just went out all stage 2 and stage 3. This fruit is so powerful in Syndra. I'm surprised it's been unnoticed for a while. It's actually so strong enough for you to play the Star Guardian board all the way up to level 9. And the second fruit you want to put on is Poppy, and the one you really want is Unstoppable, just so she can disrupt the fights. An opener you want to play is just simply the Syndra Prodigy with Bastion opener, and you just add more Star Guardians in overtime. Or you can throw in Crystal Gambits just so you can gain more econ. The last A tier comp we can talk about here is Kai'Sa, and there's two different versions you can play her. This one is what I like to play most of the time because this allows you to stay at level 6 until you 3-star Kai'Sa, then you hit level 7 throughout Akali. The reason why you would want to play this board is if you have a secondary Darius carry, you have enough souls to itemize him as well. Or if you have an early Lulu to make Rammus, because Rammus is a very powerful tank. So this one's more conditional, where you kind of need to have the early Rammus, or if you think you can build items on Darius as well. And then for Kai'Sa's case, all you need is Shojin or Gwynsu's Rageblade. Either one's fine with IE +1. And Rammus can use whatever tank items, it doesn't really matter. The two units you want to fruit here is Kai'Sa with over 9,000 or Bullet Hell, and then Rammus with resistant or any tank ones you can find. I would say there's no point to fruit Darius because he's strong enough about it already. And then when you hit level 7, you just 3-star Rammus with Darius. If you can't 3-star Udyr, that's good, but in most games, Udyr's too contested. So I would say probably not. And the other version is just playing Kai'Sa with full Juggernaut, 3-starring Kai'Sa with Mundo and Vi. This allows you to just have a lot of tanks on the front, and you have pretty good DPS on the back. And you throw in Darius if you can for that 2 Supreme Cell you can have on the board. The opener I would say to play is either the Nara opener, or if you're lucky enough to start with Kai'Sa early, then you can do a Kai'Sa plus a duelist unit on the board, and this works as well. Now on to the B tier comps. I'm not going to talk about Katarina reroll. She is pretty decent, but I don't see the point to play her when you can play Jayce reroll. If you do decide to play Katarina reroll, it's probably because you high roll her in a good spot where you can probably 3-star her fast. In order to make her good, you need to 3-star her at least late stage 3 or early stage 4. Then you want to hit level 8 around mid to late stage 4 as well, in order to basically get top 4. If you take too long to 3-star her, you probably will lose. It's the same thing with KO case as well. If you don't play KO reroll, you do need to 3-star her really fast so you can hit level 9 as fast as you can in order to cap her out. And in Volibear's board, they did nerf him a little bit. He's still fine to play as Volibear Luchador. 7 mech. The power of 7 mech is technically S tier, but the problem is playing the board is super hard to 2-star everything. So that's the reason why I would say it's B tier, just because it's not easy to play every time. And the Vars board is very strong to play if you 2-star everything. The problem is there's just way too many legendary units. And I know most of you guys are going to ask me for the Vars board. Here it is. It's very expensive as you see. The reason why I would say 6 Wraith or even 4 Wraith is not even worth it on Vars is because your front line is going to be so useless that playing 6 Wraith, everything's going to get deleted before Vars can cast twice. And most of the time he needs to cast twice to finish fights. So this board is probably like the best of playing it. If you want to interchange some things, you can, but the thing about it is, there's not really good tanks in this set currently. Like Leona is kind of trash, unless you have 3 Academia. And then the last one here is going to be Darius with Fusion Dance, and you just eat either Kabuko 3 or Jayce 3. It's just all heavyweights. And Kai'Sa backline with debuff items like Last Whisper and some sort of anti-heal. Onto the C tier comps, meaning that you shouldn't really play this at all whatsoever, is Akali with all protectors. That board was just so broken and too cheesy that they had to nerf it. And they nerfed it pretty hard, where it's basically unplayable now. And K'Sante All Out is still pretty bad, so I would advise to not play it anymore still. And Mentor GP can win out at certain times if you high roll it really hard. Like if you 3-star him around stage 3, you can basically get top 4 with him. His power is still okay, it's just if you tempo fast enough, you can beat the lobby. But yeah, that's basically about it for patch 15.2D meta tier list. If you have any questions about any of the comps, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer to the best of my capabilities, or you can ask me on my live stream. I don't mind answering questions there too, if I do stream. For those of you that's wondering why I haven't been streaming lately, it's because I'm currently playing in ALGS for Apex, just this challenger circuit, so I'm basically training for that. But yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.